Okay, good evening, good morning, good afternoon, bonjour, bonne journée, bonsoir à tous, et bienvenue au Forum du Wada. Welcome to this week's edition of the Wada Forum. So today, we have a light but exciting agenda. We follow our general opening and get some updates from the community, from our network. And then we're going to spend, as promised last week, we're planning to spend the month of May really focusing on proposal support. We know that there are a lot of action, a lot of activities available for engagement in both Catalyst and SingularityNet. So we'll go over that a little bit more today. Bon, en gros, je vais répéter bref en français qu'aujourd'hui, notre agenda sera autour euh, des mises à jour et du soutien pour les soumissions des propositions en Catalyst et aussi SingularityNet. Okay, next. All right, so every session we love to just remind us all of why we're here, and catering to our bilingual community. We'll do this both in English and French. So I'm going to call out Mercy to do the English, and then I will do the French.
Okay, it always humbles me, gives me much pleasure to talk about our statement of purpose, our mission, why we keep doing what we do, no matter how hard it gets. And our reason for being is to elevate underrepresented groups through the application of technology and invest in a more equitable future. This is what we interpret as the leapfrog effect. That is what we're looking for. That technology that will lift people up that might otherwise not have the opportunity. Thank you.
Merci. Et pour nos francophones, notre déclaration de but, bon, ça, c'est pour nous rappeler de notre mission, pourquoi nous sommes là aujourd'hui. Et notre mission, c'est promouvoir les groupes sous-représentés grâce à l'application de la technologie et investir dans un avenir plus équitable. All right, now let's move along to a recap from the previous meeting. I won't spend too long on this because some of our agenda today is going back over some of it, because last week we did an introduction into some of the upcoming timelines for Catalyst and SingularityNet. There are funds open as we speak. So we went over a bit of the timelines for both of those. I also presented last week about a DREP project I'm working on. So I'm part of a group who is piloting a DREP framework, and I'm looking to engage the community, the WADA community, and other communities in supporting our DREP and also kind of figuring out the best framework for someone to represent a large group. Bon, en français, dernièrement, la semaine dernière, nous avons parlé des soumissions ouvertes en Catalyst et aussi SingularityNet. Il y a les fonds en cours dans les deux secteurs. Et également, j'ai présenté quelque chose sur le DREP Moi, je suis impliquée dans un projet pour établir un framework pour comment gérer un DREP de communauté. Alors, bon, c'est encore en mode test. Vous savez que Voltaire n'est pas encore opérationnel, mais c'était une petite introduction et je vais vous tenir informé à la suite avec d'autres opportunités de participer avec moi. Okay, so now we'll go into some of the updates, and here I'm going to pass over to Wada. Mercy.
Hello, hello. Yes, so Intersect, when we meet like this as a network of hubs and interested people also joining from all over with the Web3 space, we want to talk briefly about some of the ecosystems that we are very closely aligned with, and how we sort of leverage those associations to multiply our effect throughout our hubs for Africa and indeed for the world. So we'll start with Intersect. So the reason for Intersect, as some of us will know, is to build together to drive Cardano forward. So basically, Intersect is the human part of the Cardano protocol. It seeks to bring the people together to to determine what actually goes on chain. As we move towards Voltaire, a lot of governance, decision making is going to go on chain. But it's not all about chain. It's also about human beings, what makes them tick. And if we do that, it helps us to actually put the right thing on chain. And very briefly, what I'll say is that Wada is very strongly enmeshed in Intersect. It's an honor for us to contribute. I can say right now that there is sort of a leap forward in terms of maybe being a DREP educator. We will be reaching out once this is, well cemented. As Megan shared last week, there is a separate project that is also doing a lot of work in the DREP space. In Ghana, there has been a lot of workshops, also pushing the whole DREP agenda. There's been many times that we've talked about DREPs on this call. If anybody needs more information, feel free to join our socials and ask questions, and let's keep it going. Next slide.
Oh, let's pause for 1 second. I wanted to just quickly give a French version. Merci nous souligner le fait que Wada est très intégré en Intersect et qu'il y aura aussi des opportunités potentielles avec Intersect pour engager avec les opportunités de DREP. Elle a parlé d'un entraînement, elle a mentionné comment plusieurs groupes de notre communauté sont aussi en train de, de suivre un peu ces idées de DREP. Alors, il y aura d'autres occasions de s'y intégrer. Go ahead. Thanks.
Thank you for that. Next slide. And I am going to hand over to Samuel.
Thank you very much, Mercy. I hope I'm coming clear enough. Can everybody hear me?
Yes.
Thank you very much once again. Yes, we had been talking about it throughout the previous weeks. It was just coming Catalyst Fund 12 launch in Barcelona. Lo and behold, all roads led to the W Hotel in Barcelona, and we had a great event. But before I start to say anything, we have a visitor who has just joined us, a great guy from Portugal. He's Lucas. I met him in a bus en route to the venue. One thing led to the other. We found that we were all attending the same event, so we started the networking, the connection from there, and we had a great time together. I requested that I would invite him to our Wada Forum meetings. I did, and lo and behold, he's here. Lucas, if you are here, welcome to Wada Forum. This is Wada Family. Can you say hi, introduce yourself a bit more?
Hey everyone, thanks for pointing me out, and it's really great to be here. Sometimes I've had some contact with what WADA does, and I keep it in my radar of great ecosystems and communities that exist in Cardano. It was great to have to meet and to have a few words when we were in Barcelona. I'm really glad I decided to go there, and yeah, I think it's let's carry on building bridges and collaborating where possible.
Thank you very much, Lucas.
Cheers.
And we are very grateful you joined us on this particular call. Enjoy yourself, enjoy your time. You have any questions, any contribution, feel free and come through with it.
Cheers.
Thank you very much once again. Now quickly to a short overview. This is a WADA interest overview, so we are going to limit it to the entire organization of the event and what it means for WADA as an entity. So let me quickly start by saying that yes, the event was a well-organized event. It took place at a very serene and conducive environment. Great people, great atmosphere. And let me say, this actually created a positive and a very engaging atmosphere for all the attendees or the participants on the day. We had over 100 attendees from various backgrounds and from all walks of life. The event provided a great opportunity for networking and collaboration. As I said, people coming from different places, with different expertise, different ideas. It was just great to network and collaborate with a lot of them. As one of the results we are seeing, meeting Lucas and inviting him, and today he's here to join us. There are a lot more people who promised to join, but maybe at a later time. Let's see how it goes by the end of the program. So we, as an entity, we had an agenda actually, WADA Global and Catalyst Africa Town Hall. We wanted to use the opportunity in an August platform like that to publicize the proposal to bring Cardano Summit 2025 to Africa. So we tried to gather signatures of the big names in a bid to support our agenda. In the end, let me say we had over 40 participants signed onto our sheet. And at this point, I must say that it was very warm, it was smooth, and I believe is a great fit for our journey to bring the Cardano Summit to Africa. Interestingly, most guys were curious about which city we intend to bring the event to. And as we all know, that has not been decided. So the letter I could say to such people was the fact that once we win the bid and once we are successful at it, there are a number of countries that we are considering in some big cities. And so once we win the bid, on the back of it, we are going to sort of emulate what Catalyst did in terms of the hosting or the host city. We put up those places and maybe we'll go through voting and choose one. And it was very interesting. People wanted to know exactly the location. Other people even suggesting some locations that we should take to. Remember, somebody said we should explore Zimbabwe because he had been there and thought that it was a great place. I suggested that to Messi when I came. And I think there's an issue with that. But still, there are other cities are available. I know there is Johannesburg in South Africa. There is uh, uh, Accra, Ghana, and a host of other great cities. So let's not jump the gun now. Once we are successful at winning the bid, we know where to take the event to. As I said, it was a gathering of the leading lights of Catalyst, the leading lights of Cardano. And so we had to take the opportunity to get the perspective of these key players as far as WADA is concerned. So we put a number of people on the spot. We had conversations with the organizers, and as I said, some key players, and it actually highlighted WADA Global Limited as a pioneer entity and a key stakeholder in Catalyst and the Cardano ecosystem. Yes, I wanted to find what people think about WADA, how WADA has done over the years as far as Catalyst events are concerned. And we had interesting feedback. As I've said, WADA has that recognition, WADA has that respect. And some of the interviews that we had has been put on the Twitter threads. Look out for the WADA official Twitter handle. And you can see some of the great interviews that we had. Top players of the industry sharing their views about WADA. Lucas, for instance, was on the bill. He said quite good things about WADA. We got Chris, we got Danny, and a host of other guys. You can check out those things and see how recognized the association you work for is in the community. And some people, let me say, some of our people here are also quite popular. I was amazed at how people kept walking to me and ask whether I was Boaz. If Boaz is on the call, I want to take the opportunity to tell you that you are very popular out there. People came on one after the other to ask me, are you Boaz? And at some point I was tempted to sort of impersonate you and say yes, because you're very popular. And people also asking about John T. They will come and like, hey, do you know John T? Do you know Megan? Do you know Messi? These are guys that we have worked with on a number of projects. They are great guys. And it was very good for me because going to an event like that and, you know, the people that you work with are recognized, I think was a great event. The message or the implication we can draw from here is that I want to say, whatever you are doing out there, please put in much effort because the ecosystem is very appreciative and acknowledges every minute contribution to its success stories, no matter who or where it comes from. So let's keep pushing in our diverse ways for it will surely pay off because no toil, or let me say no one toils in vain in the ecosystem. So that's that. Let's talk a bit about WADA's reputation. We also wanted to find out how WADA is revered in the ecosystem. And I dare to say that WADA Global Limited, it's seen as a reference point within the ecosystem. And this must serve as a motivation for all of us to excel in every capacity. This motivation actually stems from the organization's extreme position within the ecosystem. So these are some of the things that we're able to gather from Barcelona. I know we are talking about the actual event in terms of the changes that have been done, and most of the things that we expect as far as Farm 12 is concerned, that will be at a later time. So this was just an overview of what transpired over there, and a little overview, a wider interest overview that we wanted to gather and bring to your attention. Megan, I'll get back to you to translate what I said
No,
in
think
French.
I took some notes, so
Yeah.
you talked a lot. I
For the
think
benefit of our
there was
French
a lot
folks,
of
just translate them, and we can always come back and continue the rest of the program. Thank you very much.
Very quickly, before Megan goes into translation, and let me make her work even more difficult. Thanks so much for that, Samuel. I do want to reiterate that, you know, the success story that Samuel is talking about would not have been possible without everyone's contribution, especially those on the ground. You know, data is expensive, internet is intermittent. I do want to recognize, you know, there's Binta on this call, tries to come in week in and week out. Megan and her team in Cameroon, Efia and her team in Accra. Of course, Boaz, you've heard, you know, Jonti has done amazing work in terms of pulling, you know, sort of two hubs in DRC plus. Dan is here still. So yeah, I just wanted to, you know, these things is very easy. Once you go out there, people see your face for them to give you all the credit. But for me, I know that the credit is really the people on the ground. We are global, but our strength is in our local grassroots. So over to you, Megan. Thanks.
Okay, I see we have quite a few French speakers that have joined us, so I'll try to be as descriptive as possible. Bon, Samuel a assisté à l'événement du lancement en direct de Barcelone la semaine dernière. Il a mentionné comment il a été impressionné par l'impact positif que Wada a sur la communauté Cardano. Il a eu de nombreuses opportunités de réseautage. Bon, nous l'avons envoyé avec une petite agenda. Nous savons que nous sommes en collaboration avec Catalyst Africa Town Hall pour essayer d'organiser le sommet, Cardano Summit en Afrique en 2025. Alors, un de nos buts était d'obtenir quelques signatures sur une pétition pour ce projet. Il a pu obtenir près de 40 signatures là-bas. Et les gens étaient très intéressés d'en savoir plus sur les détails de la vie qui sera choisie. Bon, c'est toujours en cours. Nous sommes toujours en train d'étudier. Et il a également profité de l'occasion d'être là-bas en direct pour obtenir les commentaires sur Wada, comment c'est vu dans la communauté. Il a pu interviewer certains membres importants de la communauté. Il a filmé ça et je crois que c'est disponible sur nos réseaux sociaux. Mais il a constaté que Wada est bien connu, puisqu'il ne savait, est bien respecté en tant que pionnier de Catalyst. Bon, je pense que tu as compris, mais je vais répéter que plusieurs personnes l'ont demandé s'il était Boaz. Et il a hésité s'il devait t'impersoner et dire oui, mais il ne l'a pas fait. Bon, bref, ça, c'était un peu ce que Samuel avait dit. Merci à maintenant ajouter à la fin que nous n'aurions pas reçu tous ces retours positifs sans tout le travail effectué sur le terrain par vous, nos hubs, nos gens en Afrique. Alors, elle vous remercie au fond du cœur. Ouh, Okay.
Are you done?
Back over to you guys.
Thank you very much. Mercy can take over and talk a bit about Singularity Net and all the stuff that she's got. I think Intersect MBO. You have also got some information there, or
Yeah, I think I've shared already about Intersect. You know, there's a lot coming around the corner regarding Intersect, and we will let you all know. But right now, let's quickly talk about Singularity Net and their deep funding round. Samuel is going to talk a little later on about Catalyst. Some of the changes last week, we had brought you some information. We just need to update that, but that will be just a little later after I talk very briefly about deep funding, round 4. Should we go to the next slide, please?
which slide?
Forward.
Okay,
yeah,
sorry.
Yeah, let's talk about this. No worries. So very quickly, I know that we are all very focused on Catalyst, Singularity Net, that is decentralized AI. It's also very much within our ecosystem. We've done some work with them. We plan to continue doing some work with them, because when we talk about the leapfrog effect, we believe that not only blockchain and metaverse, but also AI is going to play a big role. So we have been, getting closer and closer to Singularity Net and deep funding. Regarding, so right now, whilst Catalyst is already on Fund 12, Singularity Net deep funding is on Fund 4. It was opened April 22nd. As you can see, I have some dates here. Let me share a link. So the dates, as you can see, from 29th to May 20th, you can put in proposals. May 20th to June 10th, that's when review will open, so that there's also opportunity to earn some AGIX there, with the same way that, you know, Catalyst reviewers, you can earn some ADA. June 10 to June 17, there is the voting period, and then by June 23rd, we should know those that have been awarded. WADA will put in a proposal that involves selection of our hubs, especially our licensed hubs. Very quickly, I will talk about how much is on offer. It's not as big as the 50 million ADA from Catalyst. Over here, it's 1.52 million. So 1,520,000 USD in AGIX. Now, for those of you that know a bit about AGIX, it can go up very quickly. So it's not a token to sort of look down on. And lately, they are having some big collaborations with other big players within the AI ecosystem and real world assets ecosystem. So please look out for that. So on offer, in terms of new projects, there's 1 million USD on offer. Put in some proposals. There's ideation phase, also 75,000 USD on offer. Marketing initiatives, 100,000 USD, and then for miscellaneous, there's 150,000 USD. There's community-driven RFPs. This is more like for those of you that have been around a little bit, this is more like the categories sourcing way back in Catalyst, like a modification of that, and then 75,000 for RFP design. I have dropped a link in the chat. Go there, play around, read some old proposals, and maybe you'll get some ideas. But as I also said, Wada Network, Wada Global, we are looking to put in a couple of proposals, and we'll let you know a bit more about this next week following. So that is all from me. Happy to hand it back to Megan. Thank you.
OK, bon, merci. Je crois que vous voyez bien les dates ici sur l'écran. Ça, c'est pour Singularity Net. Il suit un peu un rythme similaire de Catalyst avec les soumissions, review, vote et annonce. Merci à souligner qu'il y aura également des opportunités d'avoir certains rewards si vous enregistrez comme reviewer. Bon, je n'ai pas retenu tous les détails qu'elle a mentionnés sur les catégories, mais en gros, il y a 1,5 million$ en AGIX au total à disposition pour ce fonds. Et bon, SingularityNet en général se focalise sur les initiatives autour de l'intelligence artificielle. Alors, si vous avez des projets dans ce sens, il faut considérer soumettre ici. Elle a mentionné que Wada serait en train de faire une stratégie pour soumettre certains proposals ici. Bon, j'espère que je n'ai rien manqué d'important. Back over to you, Mercy, for Catalyst.
Okay, so I take over from here.
Oh, great, Samuel, thanks.
Thank you, Megan. Yes, this is the real deal. This is where I think most people have a lot of interest. Fund 12 has been launched, and now the window for submission of proposals is on. It's actually it actually started on the 29th. There's not too much time. We are doing this in, I think, a period of a fortnight. We have to go more into that. But on today's session, I would prefer that it will be a bit interactive. As Megan started in the beginning of the show, Wada Forum for the month of May is going to be dedicated particularly to how to help our stakeholders put in very good proposals. So we'll have more time to discuss about what people are working on and how we can help to organize ourselves and our proposals and present very solid and cogent proposals with the hope that we can win a lot of funding in Fund 12. Remember, we have stated that this is an on-cycle for WADA. That means WADA is also putting in a strong effort to send as many proposals as possible. So as I said, if it will be interactive, that would be great. Because yes, the program was launched last week. I know many of us joined the live feed, and so they saw everything that was said or that was done in Barcelona, or how they followed keenly how the event got unraveled. There are others who also could not join live but have had the opportunity to subscribe to the YouTube channel and watch how things went on in general. There are others too who perhaps have joined other platforms or followed other announcement channels of Catalyst. Yesterday there was a town hall. I know some people joined to check up on the updates. So not many things that we are going to talk about, except that we want to talk about a few highlights and a few interests that we have as an entity. And also for our stakeholders, because prior to that, we sent out a communique to our license hubs regarding the approach for WADA Global Limited and our license hubs as well. Unfortunately, after the launch, we saw some few changes that we want to bring to your attention, and matters that are going to be arised after this particular forum. We are going to send another communique, tie that into it, and change the earlier information that was put out there. For instance, and this is very critical, let me start from there, and we're going to talk about the others. The new change in Fund 12 regarding number of proposals that can be submitted, I want to read. It says, project participants may only lead or co-propose a maximum of 6 catalyst proposals across all categories. If more than 6 are submitted, only the first 6 published entries will be eligible for funding, and the remaining will be archived. This is one important information that we want to change relative to what we sent before the launch, which we limited the number of proposals to 5. After the launch, it has come to our attention that now it is 6. So instead of 5, please, now we are considering 6 proposals for each entity. Some other key things we want to talk about, and these refer to the categories. It's also one of the important things because we need to be mindful of the specific funding categories and the descriptions for each funding category so that we can appreciate or learn where our ideas or proposals fit best. So I know this data has been put out there and you have it, but for the benefit of hindsight, let's go through them quickly. And after that, I can pause for people who have questions about the entire organization and everything to come through, and we can take it from there. I think it's good to answer questions than to be talking about things that have already been put out there, public info that's already out there in the public. Yeah. So for the funding category, what I'm going to do is that I'm going to call out the category, call out the total budget, and call out the proposal cap. It's very important to know these things so that in your budgeting or in your breakdown of the milestones, you know how much money is required for each category. So the first one, Cardano Open for developers, an amount of 10 million 5 or 10.5 million ADA has been allocated, and the proposal cap is 200,000 ADA. Developers, 10.5 million total budget, proposal cap 200,000 ADA. The second one has to do with the ecosystem. If the proposal is related to the ecosystem, an amount of 5.5 million ADA as total budget has been allocated, and you can only do a cap of 100,000 ADA. This was a new category that was introduced, partners and real-world integrations. An amount of 8 million ADA is allocated as the total budget, and the proposal cap is pegged at 200,000 ADA. To continue, we talk about the Cardano use cases. We have 3 categories under that. The first one has to do with the concept, where 7.5 million ADA has been allocated as a total budget, and the proposal cap pegging around 100,000 ADA. The next one is the MVP. Similar situation in terms of the total budget, that's 7.5 million. But the proposal cap is around 300,000 ADA. And the last one, in the category of Cardano use cases product, the total budget is 7.5 million ADA. And the proposal cap has the highest amount, that's 500,000 ADA. So like I said earlier, note these things, know where your idea or your proposal fits best, and also be mindful of the proposal cap so that you don't do a yeoman's job. The key dates that we want to emphasize, like I said, this has also been put out there, but let's mention it. The launch was on the 26th of April 2024. Proposal draft submission, and that's from, we're already in that window. I think 2-3 days in that window already, April 29th to May 13th. And we'll have just 3 days for proposal finalization, and that will take place on May 13, 2024 to May 16, 2024. There is also the proposal review stage, that will take place on May 23, 2024 to June 6th, 2024. Then the voter registration is on June 8th, 2024, and voting actually begins on June 27th, 2024 to July 11th, 2024. And voting results are going to be put out in the middle of July. Exact date is 15th July 2024. And then onboarding is between the month of July and August. So these are some of the key dates that, like I said, we are supposed to be mindful of. I don't know what to talk about again, but time is also not very much on our side. I think I'll pause here. I know there may be some of us who have some questions. You can put through. Mercy is here. Megan is here. Efia is here. These are people who have more experience in the operations of WADA and the operations of Catalyst, and they are also familiar with some of the changes relative to the rules and regulations of the previous funds. So let's allow for questions, and we can take the fact that we want to introduce this month's forum to or dedicated to writing of proposals and everything can take effect from now. But before the questions come in, Lucas, if you are still here, you were part of it. Even the working groups, you took active part. If you have anything to share as far as the program is concerned, just tell us a little overview, how you come in, if you're also preparing for any proposals, and if there is any new thing you think it will be of interest to WADA and our team of stakeholders, please let us know.
Well, the main thing that we worked on the workshop was that Miro board. So maybe the simplest way to share any outcomes. For example, my group didn't actually speak in the end when presenting my group's outcomes, because everything is in that Miro board and people can just have a read through. But in overall, the recipient of that feedback wasn't necessarily the community directly. We were trying to gather feedback to share with the Catalyst core teams, themselves, so that they can improve things on Fund 12, but also especially on the future funds.
Yes.
I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure I can dig that up, the link for that Miro board. I'll try to do it on the call now and share it on the chat. Okay.
That'll be great.
Cheers.
Mm-hmm. And just very briefly to what Lucas said, please let's be on the lookout for these working groups. It is our voice to Catalyst in terms of what changes we want to see from Fund 13. So this is our opportunity. Let's look at, I believe this week there is one in Nigeria. Musa Lawal joined us last week. So please look out for his join. I believe that the Kenya and Johannesburg one has already taken place. Boaz will be doing one in French. I don't think that has happened yet. Neither has the Cameroon one or even the WADA Global online one. So please be on the lookout, not just also for Africa, but all over the world. If you can join virtually, it is an opportunity to get your voice heard. Thank you. Megan, over to you. And thanks, Lucas.
Okay.
Happy to have you.
Yeah, great. I don't want to summarize everything, but I want to just highlight some of the most important points from the changes. Alors, il y a quelques changements que je voulais vous souligner en français rapidement. Ils ont ajouté le nombre de proposals auxquels on peut être impliqué. Maintenant, la limite est 6 et non 5 comme indiqué précédemment. Il y aura également certaines catégories ajoutées, en particulier une catégorie de partenariat et d'intégration avec 8 millions d'ADA associés. En général, il est important de prêter attention au plafond budgétaire de chaque type de proposal. Dans chaque catégorie, c'est un peu différent. Mais les dates clés à retenir, bon, les soumissions sont ouvertes maintenant. La clôture le 13 mai. Et cette fois-ci, seulement 3 jours pour la finalisation. Alors, pour fermer le 16 mai. Après, il y a l'étape de Community Review qui commencera le 23 mai. Cette date est importante aussi parce que pour être éligible, il faut avoir fermé tout projet du fonds neuf et antérieur avant ce délai, le 23 mai, pour être éligible pour ce fonds de 12. Alors, je voulais juste souligner ces petits points. Nous n'avons pas beaucoup de temps aujourd'hui, mais dans les prochaines sessions de ce mois, on aura plus d'opportunités de répondre à vos questions et vous aider avec vos soumissions. Maintenant, c'est ouvert aux questions en anglais et en français. Merci. So just open to questions and feedback now for the next few minutes.
Yeah, so please, guys, if you have any question regarding the Fund 12, any other thing that has been said on the call, please come through with your questions now.
No questions?
There are no questions? That's interesting. Okay, then maybe we can...
Is anyone submitting anything? You can just use the emojis or raise your hand or something. Is anyone submitting either in Catalyst or Singularity Net? Well, but in general, I think this is kind of an announcement that in the next weeks, we'll be structuring these calls. You know, today was a lot of introductory materials, but in the next weeks, we'll be focusing these forums more around actual proposal support. So as you come, be prepared with your questions that you may want to bring so that we can work on proposals together.
Yes.
At some point, we will be, so for our French community, I know that sometimes there's a bit of a barrier in the proposals. Not only will we be, you know, in terms of live support in the calls, as has been said by Megan and Samuel, for the rest of May, we can also do some editing for your proposals. And here I'm going to give a pitch out for our licensed hubs. They will be prioritized. So if there are 10 proposals that come in, and 5 of them are from our licensed hubs, obviously those will be prioritized. Having said that, we you know, Wada, we've always been here, open hearts, open minds, open doors. So if you have something you want to share, even if you are Solomon, I see you. I know that you are in the process of establishing your hub or licensing your hub. Very happy to help as well. So it's all for, you know, as Samuel would say, for Africa. How do you say it? For Africa and for God, or for God and Africa?
For God, for Wada, and for Africa.
So yeah, please feel free to reach out if you need any sort of more hands-on support. Megan is amazing with that. Now we have Sam as well. He's okay. So let me tell you a little story about Samuel. So Samuel is one of those kids in class where they just jump him, right? he came into this ecosystem. He was a reviewer. All of a sudden, before I realized, he's already a mentor, right? So reason I'm saying that is that he's seen a lot of very good and not so good proposals. Right now, he has a bit of a workload, but I'm sure that he will be willing to also help with some proofreading and so on. So please don't be shy to reach out individually to, people in this group. As Samuel said, people like Ifia. We actually have Josh on the call today. He is also amazing. So please reach out, join our WADA socials and reach out to people. Yeah, that's all I'll say for now. Thank you. Back to you, Megan.
Megan, please wrap up in the next 1 minute.
Yeah, no, I was gonna say I actually do have a tight schedule today, so I'm gonna not be able to stay for any socializing, but thank you so much to everyone who made it here today. Merci beaucoup à tous ceux qui ont participé aujourd'hui. Je m'attends à plus de participation à la prochaine séance. Je veux entendre sur vos propositions, sur ce que vous allez soumettre. I'm looking forward to having more feedback next time from the crowd in terms of your proposals. Really excited to hear about what everyone is working on. So thank you to all. And then I think we can leave the room open for a little bit longer. Maybe we'll stop the recording though, and can have a few minutes of music and social time. Thanks again.
And don't forget to join our social media networks for more updates. We are on Telegram, we are on Discord, YouTube, Twitter, LinkedIn, and Portal as well. So let's continue the conversation from there. Thank you, everybody.